Hello, Aries. Welcome to your August 2025 reading. My name is NiJiLL, and you have found Alchemy. Okay, as promised, I re-pulled all these cards, so that's why these weren't shuffled in front of you. This is a re-pull from your summer overview. I do go into a lot more detail in your summer overview, if you want to go and check that out. But we re-pulled them, and I'm going to summarize them a little so you're not completely lost if you haven't watched it or if you just simply don't remember it. And yeah, we're going to get into your reading. Let's start here though, okay? So you have these two cards that came out. One is Jupiter and New Beginnings, Courage, a fellow fire sign here. This is the ruling planet of Sagittarius. So you are looking at some sort of new beginning. You are looking at some sort of fire energy, with that courage. And it does remind me a little bit of Mars. And you have family, home, and commitment. Now, for some of you, you might be torn between these two things. You might be torn between a new passionate situation and a family that you are committed to. Or you might be in this fiery sort of relationship this August, and you might have dreams of making it a little bit more than it is. Could be either one of those things. Let's get into this part of the reading here. Let me just move some of these out of the way so we can get a really good view. And here, you do have the Two of Cups. And in this particular deck, this is pure water energy. This is unity. This is partnership. It's mutual attraction. And there it is. There is that situation that we talked about over and over again here. Love that for you. You do have here the Sun. And the Sun is another fire sign, right? This is Leo, more fire energy. And we know this is the happiest card in the deck, right? Yeah, joy, happiness, clarity, fulfillment, Leo energy. You also have the High Priestess, and this is that Piscean energy we talked about in your summer overview. We talked about Pisces a lot. We went into some detail about that. You might want to listen to that just for that alone, honestly, because the reading itself isn't really long. I think it might be 10 minutes long. It's an overview. But we did touch upon a lot of things we're not going to touch upon in this reading. But in any case, you do have this Piscean energy, and this is, Spirit telling you to listen to your intuition. These are two major arcana, very important sort of energy for you. You will have a slow understanding about what to do. It'll be a little bit slow, and I'll tell you why. It's better that way. In this situation, it's better, okay? Because you have the slowest moving knight in the deck coming up next, and this is Mercury in Virgo, the Knight of Pentacles. And he is slow, but he is sure. And when he does something, it's built to last. When he does something, it's solid. It's not a fly-by-night. It is not something that's decided too quickly. It's patience, and perhaps patience is needed for if you want this to have long-term tentacles into your future, whatever that means to you, okay? You do have here the Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords is Uranus in Aquarius. And this is a victorious energy. It's a victory, but it is at a price, right? There is a price to be paid for this victory somehow. We'll find out more as we go into this. And you do have the Six of Pentacles coming in reverse, and the Six of Pentacles is Mercury and Taurus energy. And this is sort of a breadcrumbing energy, at least in some readings it is. This is in your reading, it is when I say breadcrumbing, it doesn't always mean that the person in question is giving you too little. It could just mean that the situation is producing not enough for you, right? It may not be anyone's fault, but you may not be satisfied at some point with what this offers you. And so you make changes. This is in reverse. You make changes to make it better, to make it more, to get more out of it, because these cards are really good. And you have, to drive this point home, you have the Magician, right? And the Magician is Gemini, Aquarius energy. Well, the reason I say Gemini, Aquarius is because a lot of people think it's Gemini, and there are equal amounts of people that say it is Aquarius, and it really depends on what book you read. So I will mention both, but you have all the tools. The Magician has all the tools at his disposal to do anything he wants. He's a great manifester. And so this sort of fits in, especially as your last card. It fits in with, okay, I'm not happy. I am thrilled with certain things, but I'm not happy with how much I'm getting. I want more. And so I am changing the dynamic. I'm changing something in order, and I have all the tools at my disposal to do that because after all, I am the magician. Now, we add all this up and we break it down, we get Saturn, right? And that's Capricorn Aquarius energy, yes. But it's also work, right? It's a challenge. It is a bit of a challenge. So you're going to be challenged in this area, but I don't think it's anything you're not up to here, Aries. You know, you are, after all, in my opinion, you know, the father slash mother of all the fire signs. So you can do this. It's in your wheelhouse. Now, moving on to here, we have antimony. And this is number 27 in this deck, right? And when this card, I mean, this card does ask a question. Is there something eating away at you? Is there something gnawing at you? Something that you'd like to change? On the one hand, that card represents a fierceness, right? But that fierceness can turn destructive if not controlled. And I could see that with your Mars planetary. Yeah, I could see that in Aries, right? But it also represents that wild and free side of you that you probably are longing for. So there is a balance that needs to be made with this antimony card, right? It's sort of asking you to channel it correctly. Channel it correctly and you won't be able to lose, but don't let it go too far one way or the other here. For sure, you have peace. And it says, allow your troubles to teach you and build on those lessons to create a better future for yourself. And yeah, you know, it says, allow your troubles to teach you. And that is very Saturnian here, right? So in order for you to have the peace that you want, and I think the peace does include more of whatever it is this is, I think you're going to have to strike a balance with that antimony card, and you will acquire peace with it, but you have to approach it very delicately here. You do have the sign of Taurus that came out. And, you know, this is Venus energy, and that really doesn't surprise me in this reading, right? Venus energy is our love energy, our beauty energy. It could be money too, but in this reading, I think, you know, it's pretty clear that it represents love, feelings. You might be dealing with a Taurus or someone who has strong Taurus placements. Ask them the rest of their chart. You yourself may have strong Taurus placements, but no matter what, you may be looking at things more practically as the month wears on. You may start to see certain things, strike a balance, you know, because it's Aries' way to just do it, right? And Taurus is the complete opposite of that. They very slowly, it's kind of like this Knight of Pentacles, very slowly make their decisions. Very, very careful, look both ways 20 times before they cross the street, where Aries is like, yeah, whatever. The cars will move. You know what I mean? And both of you, you know, seem to be successful in your own right, in your own way, right? But I think that if you don't have strong Taurus placements and you're not dealing with someone with those placements, your spirit is asking you to lean a little bit more on practicality to get this peace that you're really striving for. And if you have these Taurus placements, you might be leaning into them more, for sure, right? Now you have here the clan of the wolf heart. Wow, another wolf, right? Because this is the gray wolf of alchemy. And here you have another wolf card. Now, the wolf may be a totem for you, especially in the month of August. Take note of when you see a wolf. And that doesn't mean you're going to see one walking down your street. I mean, you might, but very, very, the chances are pretty slim, right? But you might see one on the internet. You might see one on a blanket somewhere. You're walking by, you see, have your mind be ultra aware of when you see a wolf, when you're scrolling, because it is an indication that things are starting to unfold here. And it is pointing you in a certain direction. It says, we are the ones we have been waiting for. Now, the wolf is, let's just say, your spirit animal in the month of August, right? And anger, this, like we talked about here, antimony, anger can be a sign from your soul when you're feeling it to bring about a change. So instead of experiencing that anger and then just lashing out and letting it out, synthesize it. We talked about that. Synthesize it into something creative for your situation. Yeah, this does represent the zodiac sign. The wolf in general represents the zodiac sign of Pisces. And we talked about Pisces over and over again in your summer reading. So definitely check that out now for sure. Yeah, definitely check that out. There is something weird going on with the February timeline slash Pisces. So over here, you have the Dragon's Lair, and this did come out in reverse, and this is number 19 in this deck. And this tells us here, Aries, that red flags that you come across should not be ignored. There are going to be many temptations this month. Step lightly. Step like the Knight of Pentacles. Do not rush in like the Knight of Wands or the Knight of Swords. Take that nice earth energy. Ground yourself while making decisions about this situation. It's really important. You have here Kairos. Very interesting card. I love the eye. Isn't that beautiful? And this card is about patience and persistence. There is no clock that can guide you, right? You have to wait for that push from the universe, that inner knowing, that high priestess energy. A single moment this month is going to stand out among others. There is going to be a single moment that you experience this month that is going to fall outside the traditional timeline, and it's almost going to be as if time is standing still for you in that moment. Look for it. Definitely look for it. It's going to happen. This, by the way, is number 76 in this deck. Here in our Norse deck, we have Ferenjat. And as you can see, it says temperance, right? And that is another card of Sagittarius, another fire sign in this deck. You're pulling a lot of fire. There's a lot of passion coming out, as always, this month for you. But in this deck, it's kind of like the tarot card in this one way. And it states it over and over again, different ways. Patience, self-control, wisdom, rationality, really important this month. Temperance. Calm decisions, rational decisions, important. And here you have intuition again, like the High Priestess, the sixth sense, the intuition, the subconscious. Pay attention to it all. Don't just be that warrior. Also be that introspective person that I know that you can be, Aries. It's not your first go-to, but it's there, right? And here you have number 39 in this deck. It says perspective. It says a calm and clear mind is free to see differently. Perfect. Exactly what we've been saying sort of over and over again, a different vantage point. You're going to be able to solve something this month if you do it this way. If you can see something differently, you can experience it differently, and you can come up with different solutions, if that makes sense to you here. You will have these two tea leaf cards. You have Mountain and Cup. And the Mountain says you are on the road to success, which is very nice. But it says you should accept valid criticism. There may be someone this month that criticizes you in some way and tweaks your anger or tweaks your annoyance. But instead of reacting from the cuff and becoming very defensive, I think that you should take it slow and see if the criticism is warranted, okay, before you react. Accept valid criticism, not any criticism, but valid criticism from a source that you care about and that you trust. You have the Waves Ruin here. And the Waves Ruin is more Pisces energy. I got news for you. It's more Neptunian Pisces energy. And you are being transported somewhere. It could be something as simple, well, it could be something as complicated as changing your life, right? It also could be something as simple as planning a trip where you go over water, right? You travel over water to get from one place to another. It could be very indicative of that. Here you have K, Q, C. No, it's K, Q, G, and T. And this could be someone's initials, could be an airport, could be a restaurant, could be a street name. It's something, keep it very, very close to you. And either one of these initials or all of them will mean something to you by the month's end here, Aries. Now down here, you have your three legs, and I have broken your month up into thirds. And yes, they can go in order, which would be very nice and neat, but for many times they don't come in order because, as we know, tarot is not a science. And so for each Aries, it's going to be different. So You're on your first leg here. You have lack and doubt. This could be something that's just going on inside you. I mean, because I don't really see, well, let's just see. You have lack and doubt, right? But you also have the Three of Wands on this side. And, you know, the Three of Wands on this side is Mars and Aries energy. And you see that elemental orb that he's holding? It symbolizes the balance between water and fire, right? What did I say? Intuition and fire. Neptune and Mars. You may be temperamentally inclined, Aries, to prefer action. You should honor that strength, but give yourself in its entirety to the approaching opportunity. There's going to be an approaching opportunity. So don't just go off half-cocked in one direction. Bring your heart, your soul, your action, your intuition. Bring the whole package with you to make this decision, these decisions that you need to make. You do have here, wow, you have the Star. Beautiful energy here. This is pure Aquarian energy. You may be dealing with an Aquarius, but the truth is the Star is a card of hope. It's a card of healing. It's a card of your faith and trust being renewed. There may be two people that come and get healed as a couple. If you're already with someone that you need healing, maybe the two of you heal something within the relationship, or you could be meeting a brand new person that meets a healed version of you. But there is healing involved in this. It could be an existing relationship that just needed to be healed, right? Could be either. Here you have the Seven of Swords, Uranus and Aquarius. Something sneaky may be going on underneath all this stuff. Now, is it strategy? Could be strategy. It doesn't have to be sneaky. Could be sneaky. It could be strategy because it seems like you're strategizing something. Okay? Be very careful. If you're doing something sneaky, and there are different reasons for people doing that, right? Sometimes they're very valid. Be mindful. Be very careful. If someone else is doing something sneaky to you, it's going to be exposed. This could very well be for many Aries people a strategy that you're devising here. When we add this up and we break it down, I mean, we get Mars energy. We get your energy. That's your power energy. So, yeah. Now, for some of you, this lack, these doubts may come from a source where you're like, you know, something's just not right. Your spidey sense may be tingling. I don't know if this has anything to do with this relationship. It doesn't seem like it, but it could. There may be something that's hidden from you in this situation. Somebody may have doubts about you and what you're bringing to the table. Could be either way here, Aries. Here on your second leg, you have facade and belief. What are you facing here? Let's see. You have the Judgment card, and this is fixed energy, but it's also Pluto energy, right? That new beginnings. New beginnings, a release of old patterns. A major turning point. There is a major turning point, and it is right next to this Three of Wands energy. And I like that a lot for you. Here in, yeah. As your center card here, you have the Two of Wands, and the Two of Wands is right next to this card of Aquarius. And this is Mars and Aries energy. It is, this tells you, and this is your center card, and it's very important, Aries. It tells us to observe the timing of something. In this deck, that's what it means. Something you're planning or setting into motion. It could be this Seven of Swords energy, could be. Spend time thinking and rethinking it. Definitely observe the timing of something is going to be crucial. So a great decision on Friday could be absolutely awful on Monday, is my point. The timing is important here. You have the Ten of Swords coming in. And I love this side of the Ten of Swords. It's so interesting. Like, this would be sort of traditional, right? But look at this. You have that knight, and instead of being inside the armor when he's struck, he is outside looking on. there is an eclipse in the sky as well. So what does that mean? I mean, in this particular deck, it could mean it's Sun and Gemini energy, could be the death of an ego, the death of your ego, could be, which is a good thing in this particular reading, okay? The essence of a solar eclipse is pictured, right? Now, this moment in time may have roots that go back to the solar eclipse that happened here in March this year. Or perhaps something began then, or there was something set into motion around that time. The solar eclipse could be important in some way, but there is an ego death, or perhaps someone, maybe listen, for at least one of you, someone tried they definitely shot their shot here. They did the Seven of Swords sneaky crappy energy, and they thought they were handing you the Ten of Swords, but there you are outside of it looking on saying, you got my armor, but you didn't touch me at all. But I'm observing, I'm watching. This seems to be like two different things going on here. Yeah, I mean, I have to tell you, there's definitely some Aries, and I'm going as far as to say at least half of you are going through something like that. When we add this up and we break it down, we get Mercury energy, that Gemini Virgo energy. And don't forget, we have Mercury retrograde in August, most of the month, when you consider the pre-shadow. Okay, so that might be a crucial time for you. I think it was pretty crucial for Aquarius, pretty sure. It could be very important for you. I'm just saying, here on your last leg, you have, and here you see, I use a double deck purposely, and this does not happen often, but you've gotten this card twice. There is something in this situation that has something to do with family and commitment. Okay. It's either you're struggling with this decision between family and commitment and something else, or you're trying to perhaps make a commitment towards someone, but there is something important about family, home, commitment here on the table. And look, you have the Death card. The Death card is Scorpion energy. We know this, right? It's rebirth. It is the death of something. And you know, you have this manifestation card next to the Judgment card. Remember I said a renewal? Sort of like rebirth energy, because it is Pluto energy, right? But here is the absolute death of one thing. Could be the death of your ego, could be, or it could be the death of one situation in lieu of another. Yeah. You have the King of Pentacles coming up next on this side of the card. And I like this side of the card a lot. Sun and Taurus energy. This archetype knows how to replenish and maintain his own well-being. Do you see on back there? He has all these supplies. He has food. He has flowers. He knows how to rule, but he also knows how to save. And it is extremely Taurian. Maybe, once again, you're being called to step into that Taurian logic, right? Tucking something away for yourself may be a good idea. Logic is supposed to prevail for you this month. Logic is important. You do have here the Two of Cups once again. I wish I could pick that card up, but I don't feel like dismantling everything. But you have the Two of Cups again, except on this side's a little different because you have the Star of Aquarius in the sky, right? You have the star, which you pulled here. You have the star that's blessing your Two of Cups, right? These two, they have either healed themselves to come together, or they have healed their relationship and stayed together, or perhaps a relationship from the past. There's some healing that has gone on, but there is hope in the sky for this situation. And when we add this column up and we break it down, it's Venusian energy. It's Venus, Libra, Taurus energy. Taurus. Definitely. What is Venus? Venus is our love life, right? I mean, it's our money too, but in this reading, it is our love life. Okay, let me move some of these. Here in your challenges, you have alchemy, ancestor guides for challenges. So yeah, that's going to be using your intuition, the intuitive part of yourself is going to be a challenge for you. You're used to reacting. You're used to action. And action is great. But I think that this month you need both. We talked about that, right? Here, in order to get this Ten of Cups, The challenge is going to be for you to come in and really think about things, really do things in a methodical way. Use your logic, use your strategy, use your planning. It's going to be a challenge here. This is more Piscean energy. It's Neptune and Pisces, right? Getting that 10, because this is the 10 of cups. This is the ending. This is the happily ever after. Getting there, that final move is going to be a challenge for you. Because everything worth it is a challenge. I mean, let's face it, right? Is it even worth it if it's too easy? I don't know. You do have here the 9 of Wands coming in reverse. And the 9 of Wands is Jupiter and Sagittarius energy. And you may be reluctant at times to do what you need to do in this situation, to see it through, which is normal too. Doesn't mean it's not worth it. It just means there are times no matter what you're doing, no matter how much you love your job, no matter how much you love your spouse, no matter how much you love your kids, there are days you're like, what the hell am I doing? This is that energy, right? You do have the 4 of Pentacles here in reverse, Saturn in Capricorn energy. It may be a challenge to release control. I think that part of this is releasing some control over your emotions. I don't know. No, I don't think that's it. It's that Martian energy, that need to control, that confidence, that like, I know what I know, and I'm going to do what I know. And to release that maybe may be a challenge for you. When we add this up and we break it down, we get Mercury again. So that is that Mercury retrograde energy is going to be a challenge. And the reason it's going to be a challenge, and the reason you're going to have to really think about things 4 times before saying them and doing them, is retrograde energy can be misunderstood. You could say something, and in your mind you're being as clear as day, and the person listening to you might take it a completely different way. Same thing when you're hearing something, you might hear it very differently from how it was intended to be heard. So that's all I'm saying with this retrograde energy. Here in your last column, you have guarded and vulnerable. And this is your opportunities, okay? So you have the opportunity to be vulnerable. I like that. You have the opportunity to be vulnerable with someone. Is that something you're just not used to? Because you have Jupiter in Leo here with the 6 of Wands. And that is, look, it's beautiful, right? It's victory, it's recognition, it's success. You have the opportunity for this energy, right? Next up, you do have the King of Swords. This is pure Aquarius energy. It's actually Sun in Aquarius energy. And that goes right back to all the logic. You're going to have the opportunity to conduct yourself with logic, balance. We talked about that. That balanced approach is really, really important for you this month. The King of Swords is very diplomatic, very balanced, very fair, very calm, not emotional. Making decisions like that, very, very important this month. You do have the 5 of Wands coming in here in reverse, and I like that for you. It's Saturn and Leo energy, the release of conflict or confusion. So at some point, and I think by the end of the month, you're going to have that release. If you have internal conflict, it's going to be released. If you have external conflict going around outside of you, that will also stop. We add that column up and we break it down. We get the number 11, which is a power number for cardinal signs like yourself, right? It is powerful. It is a bridging number. It is the start of something new. 2 things coming together to form one. Definitely a beautiful energy as an opportunity, Aries. Let me see. I will pull one of these cards to close out your reading, and then we'll do your numerology. For Aries for August 2025, please. For Aries, August 2025. Please, August 2025. Very specific here, Aries. August 2025. That one, definitely. Let's see. We have the Sun. You got the Sun again. It's that Leo energy, right? Joy, success, celebration, positivity, clarity, happiness. Love that energy for you, especially with it coming up twice. Really, really nice energy here for you, Aries. Okay, when we add all the numbers up in this reading and we break them down, we get the number 6, which is Venus energy. And Venus energy is Taurus and Libra energy. But as we said over and over again in this reading, it's also your love life. It's beauty. It's definitely, it fits. The number that came out the most, believe it or not, was number 2. And the number 2 is moon energy. Cancerian energy could be, things are not always going to be crystal clear this month. It may be kind of fuzzy and, but it's also a very intuitive card. So again, we go back to that intuition, right? The planets, they came out the most neck and neck were Mercury and Saturn. So Mercury is that Mercury retrograde energy, communication, could be travel for some of you as well. But the Saturnian energy, right, is that, that lessons learned, right, about something here. And the sign that came out the most in this reading was Aquarius, for sure, right? And I like all of it for you, but it's an interesting mix that you have here. And I'm going to remind you to listen to your birthday reading. It is good for 2025 through 2026. 3 blessings coming to you during that time, birthday to birthday. I wish you nothing but the best. Namaste, Aries.